Hey there, the Japan Coder Pat here, and I've been thinking about AJATT stuff at work quite a lot recently, and especially with Matt vs. Japan's new video on theory versus practice. It kind of made me look back a little bit at some stuff that I thought before actually putting it into practice, I guess. And specifically this time, I'm talking about having a separate MP3 player. So if you've watched my other video that I posted like 2 weeks ago, I think, I had just gotten my MP3 player. And until that point, I had been using my phone. And now for the past 2 weeks, I've been using this MP3 player. And, you know, as much as I understood before why it was a good thing to get a separate MP3 player, obviously, or else I wouldn't have gotten one. Like, you don't really, like, it didn't, like, click until I actually started using it quite a lot, because for the first week or so I was mostly just using it on the weekend and a little bit during the week, but because at work I was not allowed to use headphones. Most of the day I wasn't using it, but now since last week I've been alone at work, and I'm going to be alone at work for like a month or two, and because of that I've been using the headphones quite a lot with the MP3 player, and that's when it started like kind of clicking. Some reasons why it's better. Obviously, it's less distracting, and it's pretty easy to understand why it's less distracting. You're not on your phone, and with a phone you might have you get calls or just use it, and then that's going to stop the audio, and that's fine. But until I actually used it, and then had to go back for my phone for a bit, that's when I really understood. Because on a day I forgot to recharge my MP3 player, and it died. So I had to use my phone, and it was crazy just how much more distracted I was getting at work specifically, but not just for that. Like, I'd constantly be checking my phone if I got, you know, texts or whatever. Whereas with only the MP3 player, you know, I don't have my phone on me, so that's not a problem. I'm focusing more both on work and on the audio playing. And then also in the mornings when I get up, I always go to the bathroom, and because I'm still like kind of half asleep, I use that time to have just passive immersion while, you know, catching up on social media and stuff. And before, when I was immersing through my phone, obviously every time a little video automatically plays or something, would cut off the immersion. Then you have to, you know, once you quit the video, you have to go back and turn it back on, and you know, it's kind of annoying, and it makes you lose a little bit of time from your immersion. But with this thing now, that's not a problem anymore. If a video automatically starts, or even if I choose to watch one, my immersion is still going. It has completely no effect on it. So on that side, it's you know, once I started using it, that's when it really clicked just how less distracting it is. And another reason is the longer battery life, obviously. If you're immersing with your phone, then you're using your phone more, and then the battery drains faster, and then you have a chance of having it, you know, die on you. And which I know is kind of ironic, because I had my MP3 player die on me, but that was just a rookie mistake. I forgot to charge it, and because I wasn't used to charging an extra device, right? But with it, you know, you can go like 2 or 3 days easily without it dying, even though it's on all day, because all it does is music. Well, not music, but, you know, audio files. So that's obviously another benefit of having a separate MP3 player. And then another benefit that I completely had not really thought about before is that it's less bulky. So obviously, if you have your phone and that on top of it, like in your pocket or something, it's gonna make it more bulky. But for me, when I'm using it, I don't have my phone in my pocket. It's like strictly I just have this little MP3 player, which I know a lot of people have smaller ones, but that's the one I have, and it's pretty thin. Like, if you compare it to a phone, it's, you know. And because of that, you know, it makes it more comfortable when you're like walking around. Especially for me, since I'm using it at work, and I work in a warehouse, so I'm walking and carrying things. It gets in the way less than a phone would. So that's another benefit for it. And another thing that I understood Actually, no, I didn't understand it all that well before having a separate MP3 player. Was Matt often recommends that you change up your audio every week. And at first, I understood the theory behind it, but for me, I was like, it felt like changing it too often, because as he says, once you've gotten like all that you can possibly get at your current level from your files, there's no point in having them anymore, so you should change them. But for me, since I wasn't using the passive immersion all that much, I was only hearing like a file like 2 or 3 times per week. So at the end of the week, I was like, well, I didn't really get all that much from it. I can still listen to it a couple more times, like for an extra week or two, for it to be more worth it. But now that I'm actually using it every single day for easily 8 to 10 hours per day because of work, what was once 2 or 3 times per week is now 2 or 3 times per day. So at the end of the week, I've heard something like 10 to 15 times. And now it makes a lot more sense why you should change it every week. Because obviously by the end of the week, having heard it 10 to 15 times, you've kind of picked up whatever you could easily pick up at your current Japanese level. And on top of that, at that point, after hearing the same file so many times in such a short amount of time, it doesn't like get boring, but more like it's more repetitive, I guess, and less fun. So by changing it, at the end of the week, every week, then you make sure you don't tire yourself of it on top of all of that. And it's just more efficient in picking up things, because while it's true you could probably get more from it, it's gonna start taking more and more time in between each thing that you pick up. So by changing it, rather quickly, it definitely helps as far as being efficient, kind of like a SRS. You don't want to be reviewing everything every day, right? You want to space it up. So I see it kind of the same way. And also I've noticed that with the passive immersion, it kind of feels like a puzzle in a way. Like you're gonna have, let's say you have a word, any random word or grammar or whatever, and it kind of has like let's say like 12 puzzle pieces, just a random number, 12 puzzle pieces, and you're gonna, when you originally learn the thing, whether it's a kanji word or whatever, you got one puzzle piece, and then through the immersion you start picking up extra little puzzle pieces. Or it's like if we use Matt's example of dictionary entry, one dictionary entry is going to have many definitions, and within the definitions is going to have many nuances. So I feel like with the immersion, every time you hear it, you might pick up a little blank, fill up the blanks, essentially, just a little bit here and there. And that's something I didn't really understand until I started both using the passive immersion more often, thanks to being able to use it at work right now, and changing them up, changing the files up often. Because before, before having this, I guess not before this, but before like a month and a half into AJATT, remember I had been already back into studying Japanese for 3 months. I was just having the same things on my phone, and then once in a while I would add to it, but I would never remove anything. So first of all, I wasn't like repeating anything very often, and on top of that, at some point, like there's just nothing else I can get from it. But I wasn't removing those files, so because of that, I wasn't like, the immersion wasn't doing its job properly. Obviously, I was still getting stuff from it, but it was nowhere near as efficient as right now. I know this was a bit all over the place, but this isn't like some sort of guide or anything. I'm just getting a thought off of my chest, I guess. So yeah, that's it. It's not any sort of update or anything. Like I said, I'm gonna make my next update at 4 months. I guess as a little update, I'm at 1975 kanji, so I'm just about done with RTK1. So I'm excited for that. I'm definitely going to do RTK3 though, so it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, it's a milestone, right? So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.